Welcome to Yellowstone.
What's everybody doing here?
On our last day in Yellowstone, Brandon and I decided to go to from the northern middle section down to Yellowstone Lake. We hadn't been there before, so it was a surprise to both of us as far as what we might see. Luckily, it turned out to be a fantastic diversion. The Yellowstone Lake in the middle of the park actually flows north out along the Yellowstone River until it hits the canyons. And along that broad plain here, apparently, there are a number of wild buffalo that graze, as well as other deer and antelope, I assume. And when we first came across this, we thought, oh my gosh, look at all those buffalo down there. It was just an amazing sight. And in the crook of the river, I tried to zoom in and make sure that you could see the varying sizes of animals that were grazing there. It was pretty cool. Unfortunately, the camera is a little bit difficult to hold and to pan. I think the zoom on this particular video is probably around 10 or 12x. So it's a little bit unclear this way, but not too bad. It seemed to be a good spot to look at the broad expanse of the plain there, and there were many such plains across the Yellowstone Valley. At the time we thought, well, this is about as close as we're going to get. We had managed to have a bison cross in the road in front of us earlier in the day, and I had watched them kind of paralleling the side of the road, and no one was giving him a chance to really feel safe to go across. So I decided, well, heck, we'll just slow down and show him a big expanse road, and sure enough, he took the bait and went across. I thought I was recording it at the time, but lo and behold, it didn't happen. Well, further on down the road, we came across yet a larger expanse of people, this time out of their cars, right on the roadside. And, of course, traffic in both directions was kind of stopped, so we got out of our car and decided to see what all the hubbub was about. And sure enough, as we got closer, we could see that there were obviously bison there, buffalo that were feeding, grazing right alongside the roadside, and several of them had actually decided it was easier to camp out on the road, it appeared. Now here I've got a zoom of the bison there, but it's not even, I don't believe I'm zoomed in at all at this point, so you can see how much incredibly closer that we are in general. We decided to make a good viewing with some a little bit more closer zoom on these animals, just so you can get a better idea what they look like. The males are huge. They're just absolutely huge. They're just, from midsection to head, they're just these massive animals with nothing but pure muscle, it appears. A lot of calves there. The temperature actually was really pleasant. It was probably in the mid to high 70s at most, as well as, in fact, that was pretty consistent throughout the park. Actually, very, very pleasant temperatures. Having come from Salt Lake and further south where it was in the 100-degree range, it was quite pleasant. Look at the size of these animals. They're just huge. Park ranger came by because they just decided that they didn't want to move. So they blew this special whistle that seemed to attract their attention. It's kind of like a bleating. It wasn't really like any sound I'd heard from the bison, but it did seem to make them want to move on, which is exactly what they did. Unfortunately, the two that went left what were probably some of their calves. I saw these guys rolling in the dust a lot, I think either to wipe off errant fleas or as a cooling mechanism, not quite sure. Again, look at the size of these animals.
Oh yeah, little guy.
Wouldn't want to make them mad.
They're talking to each other going, okay, that guy's from Bob's Burger. Don't let him get near our son.
And of course the calf wants to come along too.
Probably like a teenager, but these guys are like...
These two decided to definitely cross the road. They weren't even going to be shy about it. They just went right in between the cars. It's funny because they don't really even tend to seem to bother or notice them. Yeah, this is the example of the calf that says, hey, what about me? I need to come along.
I know.
Maybe these two are brothers and sisters, but they both kind of trudged their way up the side of the road together, I think hoping to see if they could find an opening in the cars that they felt safe.
Don't leave us behind.
That's as far as we're going, they're saying. I'm not quite so sure about these big metal hunks around here. Quite a cross section. This guy is the guy that we waited for ourselves. He looked like he was ready to go. Sure enough,
Crap.
we gave him an opening and he took it right in front of our car, maybe 10 feet away at the time. I think he decides that it's easier to walk along the road. Unfortunately, there's no food on this blacktop, so he decides to go off to the side. Look at this, right next to us. It was basically within arm's reach here.
munching.
What an amazing shot. And then from there we decided to kind of drive on and pan on the right hand side of the passenger side of the car, because there seemed to be quite a few of the animals there that were just chilling, a little bit closer in view, a little bit better shots for them.
Oh, look at, there's a burrow hole right there.
Amazing stuff.
Right there too.
That's our beasts.